good afternoon, everybody. It's Steve. Well, of course, welcome to the Little Wood Shop and our midweek Wednesday shout-out, whatever we want to call it, all right? Well, over the weekend, we did you a VCarve Pro fireplace mantle scene. It wasn't so much for the sake of a tutorial on how to design a mantle scene. What it was for, as I told you, and this is basically why we're shooting this video and this shout-out right now. A few people were confused. I can't blame them. It was a big chunk of information to take. But we're going to bust this up. What we're going to show you today, just real quick, I'm going to walk you through basically the material, how to mark it up, how to load it in the machine. We'll bring the camera in, we'll zoom right to the table. But as I told you, basically the whole video was dedicated to the guys with the smaller tables. You know, somebody who had maybe a 2x2 or a 3x2, you know, like maybe the Stinger one, or maybe you had a Shark, or what else is out there? There are other small, even hobbyist levels. Well, there's nothing saying that you can't do the full scenes like you've seen me do on the log headboards and things like that, okay? So, basically, as part of the fireplace package, okay, and I know you're not going to see it, this is the sheet with all the measurements for the material. And right here, you might just make this out in the video. This is the physical scene itself. The rock outcropping on the far end of the board, the little channel where I told you could maybe put some ducks or, you know, loons, some kayakers, canoe, whatever. You had the tree line, the bear. We are going to be doing a separate video on how to take, because a good buddy of mine, Fred, little shout out to you too, Fred. Fred had mentioned that, you know, I was kind of overlooking that, as well as the feeds and the speeds and the tooling. We're going to do a video on your feeds and speeds for these scenes, as well as how to take these super definitioned animals with all the tool paths, because when you do scale them down and you go to cut, well, the bit's going to be cutting into the next tool path next to it because we've made them so small, things start to run into each other, okay? But anyways, I take the actual, and I just printed these out here a little bit ago. I've got my measurement sheet, and if I put the actual diagram of the scene on the back of it, sure enough, what do you know, all my centers line up. So, what we're going to basically do, and I definitely need these, okay? We're going to pause the video for just a minute. We'll bring you into the table real quick. I'll show you basically just where to find your center line. And we'll walk you through how to secure your, well, you know how to secure your material, but we'll walk you through where to set all your lines, and that'll pretty much be it. But like I said, we are going to, excuse me, this coming week, and we were going to do a video on the a VCarve Pro tutorial on how to figure an arched, the arch trim for a big arched window that a buddy of mine's pulling out of a house with a demo job he's doing. I still don't even have the measurements off it, so we may bypass that, and we may end up doing how to bust that bear up, pull some of the definition out of him, so that as you scale him down, he doesn't end up turning into a mess when you go to engrave him. Okay? Hang on just one second. We'll pull the camera into the table, and we'll keep rolling. All right, guys. Thank you. All right, everybody. Well, we're back. We're going to try to clear up just a couple things. Like I said, I had a gentleman send me an email. My buddy Fred, he wanted to know a little bit more how to break the bear down. I think we're going to make that a blog. We'll use this particular project. However, it's going to specifically revolve around the bear and how to take the scale images when we scale and compress them down. How to pull out some of the tool paths that we're not going to need. But that's going to be a separate video, I think. Now, again, we have the project here. We have the cabin on the far right, trees center, rock outcropping left. That was the fourth tool path. Then the bear was the fifth. Now, excuse me, we have the actual measurement schematic right here. So what we're going to do, and I told you in the beginning of the introduction to this whole project, run your gantry up the y-axis. Okay, what is the longest point of travel? Once you have it, And I told you with mine, I am 50.249 inches, okay. Well, I found 25 inches as my center. Right on my table, let me get some of this stuff out of the way here. And we put this black line, okay? This signifies the center of my y-axis travel. I set it at 25, and I told you in the video I don't program anything more than 24 inches off this center because I want that extra inch just as a little safety measure, a little fail-safe if you would, okay? What you do is regardless of which segment you choose to engrave first, they're all going to be done the same way. Alright? Now in this case the cabin is 8 inches over off the far right hand side of the mantle, so I mark my 8 inches. I take a speed square, or any square you got handy, mark your line. Okay, we've got a line on there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up with the line on the table. Well, let me try left-handed here. We'll line up the line on our table with the center line on our material. We're going to bring it in. We're going to clamp it. We're going to get it held down. Now, even for you guys with the smaller pieces of equipment, put a little roller stand, a little roller jack stand under the overhanging end. Try to keep everything level, but you're going to always go off the center line of your machine. Now, we have to pretend, because this is only a 1x6, we did the project for on a 1x12, I believe, and a solid 1 inch thick by 12 wide. You would mark up your 6 inches, you'd find your dead center, you'd mark that. Once it was clamped in place. Now, if you have a laser crosshair, come over with your line matching the line on your table and your center found, and that's where you're going to touch top. Because I told you, I program all of these dead center. I never start my datum position right or left corner, upper or lower. I never do that. I always work from the middle of my material. Now, I also showed you in the program itself that we end up taking, because at this point, the image is on its side, I pull the cabin up to the center. I don't adjust the x-axis. I don't adjust it this way on the table. All I do is bring it up and I cut my tooling path. Regardless of where they fall, I cut them at the center because we're not going to move this line at all. This line remains a constant in the center of the machine. You know, our next measurement would be, told you, this is the cabin. Our next measurement up is 20.840. Well, 20.85 is 8.5. 20.85 is 20 and not quite 7/8. We'll go 11/16. Okay? We draw another line. That's where the bear's going to go. Thing being, though, is once you find the center of the material, because I've programmed it that way, each move that you make, as long as you have your lines set up, remember, we're moving the material, not the gantry. The gantry is going to stay constant. It's also going to stay constant in the middle of the material. So unless you move your board out, that's why I have a fence, unless you move it up and out, it's still going to fall in the exact same place as it would if you had a full 8-foot machine and you were running it that way, okay? I hope this cleared things up a little bit. To my buddy Freddie, thank you for calling me out on the bear, buddy. And it was a big to-do. It was over an hour. You know, it was a lot of work to put together, but you know, I hope it cleared up a few things for a few folks with the smaller machines. Remember, just think outside the box. You know, that's all I try to ever do. I've got another big project coming up here. I've got to go down and look at and bid on. It is a massive sign for my town. You know, whether or not I can even do it is another story, but hey, we'll keep you informed on that, okay? Well, as always, I hope this helped. I hope we were able to clear a couple things up. If there's still any more questions, you let me know. Hey, I'll redo another video. No problem, all right? Everybody, happy Wednesday. We've made it over the hump by the looks, and Friday's around the corner. So, everybody, be good, be safe. Thank you to my subscribers and my followers, and as always,